You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into another episode of the Locked On Rays podcast. My name is Ulises Sambrano, and on behalf of Kevin Weiss, we are the hosts of the Locked On Rays podcast. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. If you've joined us on YouTube, I really would like you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And if you haven't hit that like button, this is the time to do so. And if you haven't joined us on YouTube yet, what are you doing? We have so much fun. We have a lively and lovely comment section every day. You can join other Rays fans, talk about the team that we all like, that we all follow, which is always a good time. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. As playoffs wind down, the sports stop sporting like we want them. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Well, to get started, I should say, Kevin Weiss might not be making an appearance today. In one fashion or another, he will, and it's a cheeky way, but we'll get to that. For now, I know you all want to talk about it. The Rays are back to 500. The Rays were defeated against the Houston Astros, and they are now back to 500 for the MLB leading 27th time this season. Tosh Bradley gave up 6 runs in 4 1/3. The offense was basically non-existent as they struck out 13 times. They scored 1 run on 4 hits and 1 walk. That's what you want to hear. No, it's not. You want to hear Junior Caminero is up. And why not? Of course, you're happy. He's the number 2 prospect, according to MLB.com pipeline. We know who Junior Caminero is. We've seen the swing. We've seen the videos. We've seen the massive power. And we're all excited about it. And this happened late last night when, he gets the call up. We know that it's Curtis Mead who gets to be sent down, unfortunately for Curtis. But, big picture, let's review his numbers, Junior's numbers last year between high A in Bowling Green and double A Montgomery. He hit .324 with a .384 on base and a .591 slugging. Absurd. 31 home runs, 94 RBIs in 117 games. Just insane. He was unconscious, basically, last year. Then he comes up to the club, I believe early or mid-September, maybe mid-September. Plays only 7 regular season games. Hits .235, so 8 for 34 with a home run and 7 RBIs. So obviously a little bit underwhelming in comparison to that monster season that he had in the minors. But the expectation was there, right? Like, this is the guy. This is the guy who's going to now be the face of the franchise. He's going to be now the guy that they build a team around him. Well, it was expected that we would see him early in 2024. In fact, he said it. If I'm sent down to start the year, I'm not going to be there for long. Unfortunately, the universe, as we all know from personal life stories and experiences, life doesn't always go according to plan. Sometimes life hits you in the face like a Buick. And that's exactly what happened, Junior got hurt a couple times with quad strains, and that really slowed his return, especially the second time around. He had to rehab and was out for a couple months. So, that obviously wasn't in the cards to start the season. But coming back from injury in AAA, he slashed .276, .331, 498 slugging. So obviously a little bit of a come down from what he did last year, which is to be expected. Better competition. There's a little bit more knowledge on him, even though it's the minors. They still have scouting reports down there. He hit 13 home runs in 53 games this season. The power's there. And this month he went 14 for 40 with 3 homers in the last 9 games. So it's been really fun to watch those videos when they come out on the social medias, and you just can't help yourself to be excited. I don't think that we would have planned 2024, any of us, to be as underperforming as this year. I know some people are now going to gaslight others and say this was always a retool, rebuild year. It wasn't. We thought that this year was going to be maybe a little bit of a question mark due to the lack of starting pitching because of the injuries. But the whole thing was, if they can make it from April and May to 500, this team is going to be good for the rest of the season. Remember that line? This was said all over. They just need to hover around 500. Well, boy, have they ever hover around 500. They've done so 27 times, like I said at the top. That leads the major leagues. This is, I know I said this on Monday's episode, the offense has just been, pick a bad adjective. There are many. On Twitter, I said it's been worse than mediocre. So you guys can fill in the blank. I mean, they've 26th in home runs. They are 8th worst in ground ball percentage, 8th worst in strikeout percentage, 23rd in OPS at 686. So what does it mean? Why are they calling Junior Caminero up? What's the plan here? Right? Because it's not early in the season, but it's early enough that something could run out. And could run out that could impact this team in the future. But maybe we should talk about Ibotta.
Yeah, you could head to Ibotta. That is a great place to head to because Ibotta is a free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. Earn on hundreds of items from groceries to beauty supplies, even toys. So you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. Did you know the average Ibotta user earns $256 per year? That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, that flight you've been eyeing, or the fancy dinner you've been craving. Some other apps out there give you points that don't really amount to much, but with Ibotta, you earn cash back that you can withdraw to your bank account, PayPal, or gift card. Simply add offers in the app, upload your receipt, and there we go. The money is yours. You can save on over 2,400 brands and shop at over 1,000 retailers, including your favorite, like I said, grocery stores, Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and beyond. It is time that you, Rays fans, join the over 50 million users who use Ibotta to earn cash back every time they shop. So this is very important here. Right now, Ibotta is offering listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta by using the code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB, when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app to start earning cash back and use code Locked On MLB. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store, and use code Locked On MLB, LOCKEDONMLB.
I love sports. I know you do too, Kevin. You love sports too. And in fact, we love sports so much that we're masochists to the point that we still watch Rays games in 2024. And you might be too if you were listening and watching to this podcast. So guess what? FanDuel is the right place for you, because it lets you keep going with the sports all day long whenever you want. You just have to open the app and you can dream up bets anytime that you're in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to fanduel.com and start making the most out of your summer. Perhaps make the most out of your summer like Randy Arozarena is in Seattle or Zach Eflin is in Baltimore. Just having a ball. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. So was that cheeky? We saw Kevin. That was kind of cheeky, wasn't it? Well, all right. I had fun with that. Hope you did too. If not, drop it down in the comments if you had fun or you didn't have fun. So how does this call-up affect the future of the race? Well, let's remember what rookie eligibility means. Junior Caminero could very well exceed his rookie status, which it's done by a combination of plate appearances and or time in the major league roster. Whichever one they pick, being called up on August 13th, those are surely going to expire, both of them. So the whole idea that, okay, well, they're waiting until there's a specific amount of time where those are not going to be eradicated, and thus he can be a rookie next year, opening day. If he wins Rookie of the Year, the Rays get compensated for that. That theory is essentially out the window now because it's too early. Unless, I mean, the only out here is he underperforms heavily and they have no alternative than to send him back down. As a Rays fan, do you actually think that that's going to happen? No, I don't think so. Because there's either two ways to see this 2024 season and how it's heading. Number one, let the kids play. Let mistakes happen on the field. Kind of a September spring training call-up. Or, hey, there's still a chance. There's still a chance we could somehow get hot. Some teams could get cold, and bada bing, bada boom, you sneak into the playoffs. Those are the two options right now for the Rays. With this Junior Caminero call-up being so early, quote unquote, that it would extinguish both sides of the rookie eligibility for next year, it tells us that they're going with the latter option. The latter option being we might have a chance. We still might have an option here. And I came up with these two paths because shout out to my buddy Brandon, who said, I just want to, I'm done with this season. I just want it all to burn. And I started thinking about that, like, you know, how many people think like this? How many people would just rather see a September spring training kind of thing and watch the Curtis Meads of the world, which we're not going to because he's been sent down, and see what they have. Enough at bats where you can kind of feel it out where, okay, coming into spring training of next year, you kind of know who are the main players, who's going to maybe have a competitive edge, a competitive advantage. Who do you look out for in the market that might complement the guys that you saw in September? But the way that this call-up means, or what it could mean, obviously it's only the front office who really knows what's going on here and the coaching staff. It seems like that's not the case. The case is maybe we can somehow, some way, string enough good vibes, enough victories here that we could somehow end up being a playoff team in 2024. So we put up a poll on both Twitter and on YouTube stating, in a Rays season like 2024, what would you prefer? Let it burn, see more young guys play, see mistakes, a September spring training of sorts, or try to keep some faith. Maybe some magic happens and play it safe for over 500 record. What's more fun for you to watch? 58% of people said burn, baby, burn. And 42% of people said there's still a chance. Now, that's out of 77 votes. And on YouTube, there were 54 votes. And the percentages were a little bit more skewed. 67% baby, burn, baby, burn. And 33%, there's still a chance. Obviously, there could have been some people that voted on both. So it's not, 1 for 1. I am honestly kind of surprised that after seeing this team for 117 games, people still are holding on to the chance of the playoffs. I said on Monday, I don't think this is a playoff team anymore. I am off the playoff 2024 bandwagon. I'm off it officially. I hope that I'm wrong. The most wrong. I am the number one person who wants to be wrong. In fact, if I would be wrong, I would love to go back. Somebody call me out on YouTube and just say, post the clip. And I would go into the archives. I would look up the Monday episode where I said that they're not going to make it to the playoffs. And we would open that show with that clip. 100%. I would do that in a minute. I would love to do that. Having said that, I don't think that this team is going to make it. And it's really surprising that a lot of you still think that they do have a chance. We did have some comments, obviously, on both counts. Jake Stokes on Twitter said, this team is not a World Series contender. What's another wild card banner going to do? Let the future get some time in. Call up everyone who you think can help over the next year or two. Now, I see Jake's point here on let's see what people have. And hey, if you're going to be in this team for 2 years, let's get that going. Let's see what you can do August and September. AKA Curtis Mead. What can you do for us? Let's see you have repetitive at-bats, because I think Curtis Mead is getting the Jonathan Aranda treatment of we need a body and we don't really know what to do with you. Can you get some at-bats here and there? And then when we need to send somebody back down, you're it. Curtis Mead has been the Jonathan Aranda of 2023/2022. And that's awful. That's horrible for that player to have that experience. It's also a business, right? But it does seem kind of counterintuitive with the way that Curtis Mead was handled in previous off seasons, where his stock was so high and apparently he was untouchable, or if he wasn't untouchable, they didn't really like anything that that was offered to them for him, plus a combination of prospects, and they never dealt them. So it just seems kind of odd. Chris Snyder says there is absolutely no chance. Let people like Meisner take some shots. Yeah, I mean, what can Cameron Meisner do for you? We don't know. We don't know. And I don't know if we will know. On YouTube, I Love Legos 2000, who is always on the comment box. Thank you, I Love Legos 2000. He says, I'm still in the I'm not so sure category. I am happy that they're calling Junior Caminero up. I think we all are happy that Junior is getting called up. Legos, we can all definitely agree on that. Devin Kramer says, I'm still giving them a chance. 100%. Raise up. Okay. So Devin is going for it. He loves the Junior Caminero ad. He wants to see them try. 44 games left. 500 record. Let's go. Santos Pantoja 5364 says, I'm not saying the odds are great. Actually, it's quite the opposite, but this team is almost never out of the running. Yes, fair enough. This team is never out of the running. That is a completely fair thing to say about this team, about this organization since 2008, basically. And if you want to look at the recent past, since 2018, they've been incredibly competitive. In fact, in 2018, they had 90 wins, way more than in 2022 when they had 86. But 86, they made it to the playoffs with that extra couple spots. And then 2018, they did not. Now, there's a long comment up ahead, and I want you guys to write down what you think. Double 2706 says, this is the sad part. Everyone who's ever been a competitor says play on. There's still a chance. But of all the years of deadline trades, for some reason, this year hit the hardest for me as a fan. And where has the pitching gone? It's so hard to build a fan base when you continuously get your heart ripped out to save payroll. Saving for what? They're basically printing money, aren't they? I don't know if they're printing money exactly, but I want to get back to that in just a little bit, because first, but you know what doesn't take time? When you order stuff from SupplyHouse. You can order from the website, and that's made for skilled traders just like you. Find thousands of parts from hundreds of brands in just a couple of clicks at SupplyHouse.com. You can get plumbing supplies, h-vac, electrical supplies with fast delivery anywhere in the U.S. And there's great news for plumbers, technicians, and contractors. Being a pro has its perks. Trade industry professionals can join their free Trade Master program for free shipping and serious discounts on every order. You can join over 100,000 pros already in the Trade Master program that has delivered results. And if you apply for your membership today, you will get a competitive advantage on every order at supplyhouse.com/TM. Save money and time when you order online. Order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service, Supply House. So, I don't think they're printing money. Exactly. I mean, we know the region and all that. It's, by the way, I'm not, if you've heard this podcast before, I will never just give a pass to Stu Sternberg for not spending. I will never take care of Stu's wallet, and he knows it. Stu knows it. He appreciates me for my candor, my honesty. He also thinks you should subscribe to YouTube if you haven't yet. So I'm not saying, oh no, let's take care of his wallet and poor Stu, he's not making any money. No, I'm not saying that. But in the reality of billionaires and ownerships, yeah, the playing field is a little bit more difficult for Stu than others. We know that. We can't just be crazy about that. But the constant tightening up the purse strings is annoying to fans. And the quote unquote fire sale that happened during the trade deadline, it hurt a lot of fans emotionally, because that's what fans are. Fans, for those that don't know, it's short for fanatics. That doesn't root in logic. It roots in emotion. So yeah, people are going to be upset about it. Most people are going to be upset about it. And we've said on this podcast, you can look at the trade deadline results both ways, logically and emotionally. Logically, hey, your team is underperforming. You've got some assets at somewhat high value, some higher than others. Can we use this to come back stronger in a couple years? Let's do it. Logically, makes sense. Emotionally, you're ripping the team apart. You're giving up on a guy that has been the best production on the field combination plus fan favorite since Evan Longoria in Randy Arozarena. No player has matched production on the field plus fan favorite than Randy Arozarena. Brandon Lau, he's a great productive player when he's on the field. I want you to, and this is going to sound maybe, I don't want it to be taken the wrong way, but next time you go to Tropicana Field, play a game of how many Brandon Lau shirts I can see, I can spot. Not going to be many. And he's been on the team since 2018. You can be productive and you sometimes don't get to the fans. Randy Arozarena has been a fan favorite, plus his production in the field has been tremendous. And he has a historic 2020. He put the team on his back. And the Rays don't see a World Series without him, quite frankly. And I think every Rays fan should know that. There's some now that are gaslighting the fan base right now, saying Randy was just okay, which is insane to me. Maybe was he overvalued at times? Maybe. We can make that argument. But he wasn't just an okay player. Regardless, it's hopefully they can prove me wrong and prove those people that are on the poll saying that let it burn. Maybe my buddy Brandon can also be wrong and the Rays sneak into the playoffs. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that Junior Caminero being up with this team since August 13 will move the needle in a positive way? Does Junior being in that lineup improve this Rays team, this 2024 team, to a contender? I will read you next time on the comment section. For now, thank you so much for joining us. Make your second listen of the day Locked On MLB. I am Ulises Sambrano on behalf of Kevin Weiss. Please stay safe, and we will talk to you later on Wednesday.